Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another DMing Hadley's game. Tonight we're back with the Mercenary Guild, where we are still doing onboarding and assessments for our two newest reluctant recruits to the Mercenary Guild, and I'm excited to get right to it. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're going to go around. We're going to start with the round robin. That's right. During the round robin, we like to do four distinct things. The first thing we do is introduce ourselves. The second thing we do is share with one another and the world our pronouns. The third thing we do is introduce our characters. And the fourth and final thing is offer a vivid, aesthetic description of our characters so that they may live in each and every one of our brain holes, because I like to vividly hallucinate with my friends on the internet for 2 to 3 hours at a time, 6 days a week, often multiple times per day, and today is no different. So, without further ado, then we'll take it away and show us how it's done.
Hi, I'm Manuel, using the he/him pronouns, and I'll be playing Curtis Drummer again, the Tabaxi Bard, who we learned last week previously had some political ambitions, cut short due to the events down on Farron. He thinks that the assessment so far is going great. Probably no one's ever been as good as he has been. And if that's not true, he's sure that he'll convince the people by giving a little speech about his and Analog's performances that will be true. As I said, he is a tabaxi, a honey-colored fur, darker tips, a huge neck beard that's usually hidden by a colorful scarf that last week has seen some interesting different kind of uses, as we used the scarf to make a new friend.
It's true. It's true. You got a new buddy here. It's exciting. Beautiful. How many drums do you have?
At the moment, I mean, they should all be fixed by now, so it's 4 drums in total. We're going from little hand drums to cymbals to actually kind of tribal bass drums.
Love it. Excited to see more drumming. Beautiful. Thanks, Manuel. Appreciate that. Jordan, do the thing.
Okay, hello. My name is Jordan, and I use he/him pronouns. I am playing Analog again this week, who is a feeling type centaur. He's an Echo Knight fighter and rogue, so he has like black stripes that are lining both his arms and face, and a tiger-like pelt. He has long black braids that are pulled back into a ponytail. His fur is about mid-length, and it looks obnoxiously soft. He's like 7 feet. He's not wearing anything other than the longbow that he has on his back right now. And he has light brown skin where there's not fur.
Magnificent. You got some facial coloring too, right?
Yeah, he has black stripes on his face as well.
Very good, very good. Beautiful. Man, nice and easy. That's how I like it. Easy. That just leaves me, DMing Hadley. He/him pronouns here for about 60% or so of your DMing needs. Let's roll for initiative.
$23.
That's only a 6.
All right. We'll offer 23 and drummer with a 6. Magnificent. Oh, I'm so very excited. I like that guy and that guy, and just gotta figure out what my initiative bonus is. Mm-hmm. 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 Great. 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 Love that. Love that. Aw. All right. Fine. Wow. That's impressive. As the two of you look out over a sandy terrain, you see scrub grasses and cacti rising up denser and denser as you look off into these rolling hills, mountains rising up to the north and east of you, very close, almost looming over you. To the west and south, you can see mountains in the distance, sort of blending in with the dark blue sky on that side. And it's just before sundown in this space. And as you look around, you see wings rise up from the far side of the mountains to the north, and then swoop down, and you don't see them for a number of seconds. Terrifying few seconds, and it is not made better by the fact that they reappear with a long blue dragon's head coming up over that hill. And then swooping down and beating its wings and hovering in the air just above where its tail would drag in the dirt. And it flicks that tail, sending up a small cloud of dust and kicking some rocks around. And it looks at the two of you. And Analoth, you're up first. What do you do as you look up and see this young blue dragon hovering in place in front of you?
Does it look hostile?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where is Drummer in a
Right.
in
Right
reference?
there. He's right there.
Okay. Ooh, I don't want to hit this thing. Okay. But I guess I will. Let's see. I'll go ahead and draw my bow,
Okay.
and yeah, I'll just try to hit it.
Okay.
It is not going to hit it. 12.
It hits it, but it doesn't do any damage as it clatters against the large blue scales of this thing's chest. And it sort of looks down almost disappointed.
that was just my warning shot. Actually, I'm gonna fire again.
Okay.
15 to hit.
We see a second arrow limply arc and hit the same spot, and then clatter to the ground on top of its compatriot.
I just want to look to Drummer and shrug and say I tried.
Yeah, this dragon looks down at these two crisscrossed arrows at its feet, and then looks up at Analoth, and then looks over to Drummer expectantly.
Well, first thing I'm going to do is giving a little pep talk to Analoth here. Say, you just keep shooting, big boy. Keep them flying. Sooner or later, you're going to hit. You know that you can do it. Just if the 10th one is missing, the 11th one will hit. Well, I don't think that we'll get 12 shots up before. Well, anyway, you just keep shooting. I know that you can do it. And using a bonus action, I give him Bardic Inspiration.
Magnificent. Is that a D6 or a D8?
That's a it says here D8.
D8. Very good.
Okay. And then I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Ooh.
Well, it is within 60 feet, right?
Correct. It's about 40 feet away from you.
Yeah. So it has to wisdom save or take 3d6 psychic damage, and then run away when it fails the wisdom save.
Okay. Very interesting. Wisdom saving throw. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Questions, comments, secret ambitions. You see this thing start to twist, and what does it hear as these whispers start to echo inside its head?
You're never going to grow up. You're never going to reach adulthood or even become an ancient dragon. You're actually you're never even going to make it to tomorrow. It's the age of dragons is over. Haven't you seen? When have you met another dragon? Never. You chased them all away. It's all your fault. They're gone because of you.
I love this. You see this thing beat its wings and twist and retch. And roll up that damage for me.
Okay, that's 13.
Okay. It is going to take that damage, but what it's not going to do is be frightened and run away. That condition does not affect it. But you see it twist and reel from that psychic attack. And you definitely know you heard it, but you also know that this thing's not turning tail. Anything else for Drummer?
No.
Fantastic. It's dragon time, everyone. It's dragon time. The dragon flies backwards a few feet and upwards away from you, and then it turns and starts sort of swooping around the side of you. And as we see both of you starting to track its movement, you see the entire thing begin to crackle with electricity. And as it turns and sort of swoops, it looks back at the two of you, and we see this tremendous exhalation of lightning start to course along the ground and at the two of you. Can I get dexterity saving throws, please?
That's a 10.
It's a nat 1.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna have to do some math. Hang on just a second. All right. How's y'all's hit points, y'all?
They're currently okay.
Yeah, how many would you say you have?
I have 49.
I have 45.
I've got great news for you. You're not going to have to keep track of those anymore. As we see that line of lightning course across the ground, and we see the both of you as your flesh turns black and your skeleton illuminates, which is a really interesting sort of anatomy lesson for Analoth. in particular. And we see both of you in this sort of like flashing effect. And then we see your body turn to ash and fall down around your skeletons, which still stand. And then we see your skeletons sort of clatter down into their respective pieces. And as they do, it feels like you guys just got electrocuted. And then we see a bright white flash. And as the sky and the ground and everything turns white, you see in big red letters, circled in black, with a black background behind them, that say simulation resetting. And that flashes 3 times. And then you see adjusting for ability level. And you see like a video game. It was set to medium. And then you see like easy and then baby food. And it goes down to baby food. And then we start to see this scene load in again. And as it does, the two of you are standing there again, still feeling like you are crackling with electricity. And as you look out, you're standing on a rocky expanse. And you can see that you're still in a very sort of like a desert scene, but it's as if you were just sort of teleported up into the mountains a little bit. And there's these sandstone outcroppings and little monoliths and what are they called? Hoodoos standing up around you. And as the two of you look out, you see a very large black and orange lizard with big claws start to climb up onto that precipice with the two of you. It is larger than either one of you. And it licks out with this forked tongue, scenting at the air. And Analoth, it is your turn.
Holy crap. Okay. After briefly experiencing death and now being put into baby food, I will have liked to say I have not learned my lesson and shoot at the enemy again.
I mean, I don't know that you haven't learned your lesson necessarily. I'm just saying.
My fur doesn't feel quite the same, but it's all right.
Yeah, it still feels like it's singeing. Take a shot.
24 to hit.
That is going to hit squarely between and behind this thing's shoulders.
That's 11 damage.
Magnificent.
And then I'll shoot again. 20 to hit.
And that's going to hit as well.
With another 11 damage.
Magnificent. As you... That feels much nicer. You hit it twice. Good job. And Drummer, you look over, and a newfound confidence seems to well up in your compatriot as you look over and see that okay, they actually can hit a thing, I guess.
Well, I'm really angry. I mean, they shouldn't have shown me the baby food. That thing that I was angry before when it was set to medium. So that's that poor thing is hopefully going to pay for it. Using my bonus action for unsettling words.
Okay.
And so well, buddy, you're an ugly ass black lizard. If you're baby food, then well, meet the furriest, angriest, toothiest, and clawiest baby that you've ever met. I'm going to just munch down on you, but first let me Well, let me just vent my frustration, and I am going to cast. I'm going all out here. Thunder Wave at 3rd level.
Ooh.
That's a con 16 save, but then he has the D8 minus D8 on the con save.
He doesn't need it because he fails miserably.
Mm-hmm. So that's only 10 thunder damage that I do.
Okay. You see its skin undulate as it claws into the sandstone prominence that you guys are standing on and gets knocked back a little bit. And you see its eyes blink and it shakes its head and looks obviously a little shaken, trying to focus on the two of you.
That ends my turn.
Okay. As you finish up, this thing goes all hypno-toad on you two. And you hear this as it looks with these orangey eyes, which almost seem to glow. And can I get Constitution saving throws from the both of you, please?
$24.
Nice.
15.
Nice. As I think Analoth, as you sort of like plug your ears and avert your gaze, you are unaffected. And seeing this, you do the same thing, Drummer. Just as it's starting to like thrum in your head, you're like, "Oh yeah, I just can just look away." And as you sort of cover your ears and duck and cover, you are both going to save from this this potential condition. And then, with both of your eyes closed, you hear skittering towards you across that sandstone. And this thing is going to rush towards Analoth. And Analoth, this thing's going to sort of claw up on your legs, on your front legs, and try to like bite at your arms. And all it really gets a mouthful of is the bottom of your bow.
Well, that's obnoxious.
And it's your turn. What would you like to do?
I need to move away from this thing. I would like to probably not towards Drummer, but in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Go about 30 feet so I can lean back and shoot at it.
Do you how do you move away from this thing?
I want to like jerk back from directly where it is and then hop over it.
Okay, roll me an athletics check, please.
It's an 8.
That's very exciting to me. Because as you take a step back, this thing sort of skitters towards you, and as you leap up over it, it got a nat 20, and it bites you real good, and you are going to take a 27 points of piercing damage as this thing just gets a whole mouthful of your abdomen and probably part of your innards. No. And another 12 points of poison damage as you land on the other side of this thing and feel your legs crumple. And as you look down, there's just a huge part of your abdomen missing.
Okay.
Oh, and you're prone.
Okay, that's fine. How are our hit points working after we died?
Whatever hit points you had, you're essentially going to start with again.
Okay. All right. I I kind of needed that, but I guess I'll have to go without it. My abdomen.
Yeah.
Um.
Unfortunate.
Can I still shoot this thing while prone?
Yeah, you'll do it at disadvantage, but you're sort of on like face level with this thing. You're on your side, and as you look sort of down horizontally along the ground, you see it. You see a little piece of tiger fur still hanging out of its mouth, dripping with blood, and this thing is just like trying to choke it down.
At least make something useful out of the fur. It's a 15 to hit.
15 is going to hit.
Rolled the same thing twice.
Nice.
It's a 5 damage.
5 damage. Anything else for Analoth?
I have one more attack. So
Yeah, one more in the chamber.
Yeah.
Great.
16 to hit.
16 is going to hit. What's the damage?
That one's 8.
8 points of damage there. As you shoot this thing twice, we see it hit sort of under its jaw, towards its chest, and as it drops its head and looks at you with a menacing gaze. You shoot it again, and you see the arrow cut along its jaw and stick into its left shoulder. And you see it, as it's starting to move towards you, stumble and struggle to stand back up. And Drummer, it's your turn.
I'm looking over at Analoth, and I see that he's still hitting the thing and that he's still causing damage. I'm torn between, well, helping him or no. I think we need to. I'm looking at Analoth and trying, like, is it okay if we just keep up the offensive? Can you go for 2 more rounds?
I have 10 hit points.
That's more than I thought. So that's great, buddy. Keep up the good work. I'm turning to the thing, using another bardic inspiration for unsettling words.
Okay.
I was like, you're trying to eat the tiger, huh? I'm going to show you what it means to have the tiger, a little bit of tiger in the tank. You're not going to like that. That is going to upset your tummy, and it's going to give you bad breath for the rest of the week. Turning to Analoth, no offense, man. And then I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on it.
Ooh.
So Analoth's Analoth's longbow is going to hit more easily. And I'm going to, using Fairy Fire for Drummer is, he turns to it and goes like, there's a different realm than this, and its queen bestowed me with Her Majesty. I can make your essence shine, but actually it's a swampy green, and by the might of the Summer Queen, let the swampy green, that is your creature essence, whatever, enrapture you. And so it's really like it's an oily, shimmering green. If it fails its saving throw, that should help Analoth hit it better.
As you conjure this sort of greasy cloud around this thing, there's just this, for a moment, a dense green, oily mist hanging around this creature. And from your perspective, Analoth, it's a little disturbing. You're not quite sure at first if this thing is emitting something or it's a magical effect. And then you look back and you see Drummer behind it conjuring this effect. But as it starts to settle, this thing doesn't seem to be affected by it. I got a 18 dexterity saving throw from this thing, and it shakes a little bit, and the faintest bit of glistening droplets seem to fall off of its scales as it only coagulated onto the dust on this thing's back, and it turns and looks at you and hisses.
Yeah, it's not the most intelligent thing to do, but I don't want it to get another bite out of Analoth. I use my movement to go right up to it.
Okay. As you rush towards it, it takes your movement as an act of aggression, and turns and starts to rush to meet you. How's a 16 versus your armor class?
No chance. I'm basically I'm hit by almost everything you throw at me.
This thing rushes over and grabs your right leg, and as it does, it gets a real good grip on it, doing 15 points of piercing damage. And another 10 points of poison damage as it gets a hold of you. And you feel that poison start to rush into your body, and your pupils go wide as we can almost see the darkened veins from behind your fur. This thing drags its spiny, scaly mouth across your leg, serrating the fur and flesh alike. And this thing starts licking at its mouth and looking up at you like it's ready for another taste. But Analoth, it's your turn. What would you like to
do? I would like to summon my Echo and put it before me.
Nice.
And let's see. Okay. I'll have my Echo move about 10 feet away from it. Well, actually, I'll have it attack first, and then I'll have it move.
Okay.
So it will use. We'll just keep using this one. Okay, that's a nat one.
Fantastic. How does your Echo try to attack this thing?
It is trying to draw its bow, and I guess it just drops the arrow somehow.
That's a sweet way of thinking. As you draw that bow, go ahead and roll me another attack.
Okay. That was a 2.
Magnificent.
So 11 total.
You see this thing's tail whip around and slash right through your Echo. I think a 23 is going to hit it.
Yeah, I think so.
And we see it dissipate back into the ether.
Yeah, it has a 17 armor class.
Anything else for Analoth?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Drummer, it is your turn. This thing has swiped at the Echo and is sort of trying to figure out who's getting it next. Because currently, Drummer, you're right up against near the front of its head, and its tail is still sort of like just tracking around behind it. And another 5 feet from that, Analoth is still prone on the ground, bleeding profusely. What would you like to do?
Well, since we both took heavy damage here, I'm going to use my. It's the yeah. Going to use it. I'm going to use my last bardic inspiration for another round of unsettling words. And this time I'm telling it that it's slow, it's weak, and it doesn't understand the world around it. I mean, it has been summoned as baby food, and now it's munching on us. It should be the other way around. Except nobody wants to eat such an ugly, bad-tasting thing like it. And I'm going to cast Hypnotic Pattern on it,
Ooh.
hoping that Wisdom save with the minus D8 will charm it for and give us some breathing room.
All right. So the initial saving throw, unsettling words just gives you the D8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the save? Wisdom.
It's a 16 Wisdom save.
Okay. Well, I've got bad news and I've got great news. The bad news is he rolled a 17 on the die. The good news is he's got -1 to his wisdom, which means it's 16. Okay. And then if you subtract any number from a D8 from that number, he's going to fail.
Okay, then he's charmed and the speed is reduced to 0.
Okay. He looks at you and just sort of shifts back and forth, trying to figure out what the hell to do with you.
Yeah, I'm making little patterns with my rapier point. Just look at the point. Just look at the point. Don't look at the cats. Just look at the point. Yeah.
As you start to hypnotize this creature, it can't move. Its speed's 0, right? But it is still beside you. And so it is going to, as you move that rapier off center just a little bit, it goes the other way and lurches for your hand. And that is a 15 to hit. Which is going to be 13 points of piercing damage. And 4 points of poison damage.
That was 13 and 4?
Correct.
I'm still standing.
Magnificent. Magnificent. I'm still standing. Yeah. And Analoth, it's your turn.
Okay. I would like to use Second Wind. I'm tired of bleeding out. Let's see. So that's 13 healed.
Nice. Not insignificant.
No. Okay, how is this lizard thing looking? Like,
it looks like it's been shot with about 4 to 6 arrows. It looks like it's been made fun of more than a few times, and is a bit dejected and bullied. And you think if you got him one more good time, you'd probably be done with him.
Okay. I'll use Bardic Inspiration on my to hit then. Let's see.
You might not need it. You don't know.
No, you don't need it because there's a 24 to hit.
Hey! Now you just have to do damage.
I can try. That's 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. As you fire that bow, we see the skin over your abdomen just start to like close in, and there's just the faintest little bit of like white fuzzy fur, like you just got shaved from a surgery or something. And as you draw that bow and fire it, we see this thing as it opens its mouth towards Drummer, and just see right behind its eyes, and this thing goes limp in front of you, drummer, and then begins to pixelate and start to rain down thin line after thin line of this thing's existence into this sandstone prominence. And as it does, you see across the sky, good job! And it's wreathed in sparkling gold with these like 3D letters that gradiate from white to like a soft pink. And you see little fireworks up in the distance. And as those fireworks sparkle down, good job fades from the sky. And you see, get ready, round two. And as round two fades, you see that difficulty chart pop back up. And it goes from baby food to easy. And I would like for both of you to essentially take a long rest as we get into the easy portion of the program. Let me know when you guys are all ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Magnificent. As easy is selected, we see the scene behind or in the distance begin to sort of pixelate and change. And as it shifts, it goes from like a sunset over the desert to a dense tropical environment. And you look to your left through the trees, and you can see soft, light blue crystal waves rolling in over a long, white, sandy beach. And as you start to look around, can I get perception checks from the both of you, please?
That's a 7 for me.
Nat 20.
Yeah, as love that. As you look over towards drummer Analoth, you see an ape come swinging down off of a branch and sort of like pull themselves up, and they are all four legs about to take a leap towards drummer. And it's your turn. What would you like to do? You don't see this thing at first, drummer. This thing is just right behind you. It is still up in the air.
Whose turn is it?
Analog.
Okay. I would like to warn Drummer because I enjoy him not getting kicked in the face.
There's something to be said for that.
I'll just. Yeah, I'm just going to point as I say, look out. You know, there's something over here. Just as a warning. And then, how far away are these apes?
It's about 20 feet from you. It's still in the air, jumping down towards drummer.
Okay. Let's see. How far is drummer from me?
10 feet.
Okay, I want to manifest my echo in front of drummer.
Okay. Between you and drummer, or between the drummer and the ape?
Between drummer and the ape.
Very good.
And then I will have it take a shot with the longbow.
Magnificent. Roll me an attack.
It's an 11.
You know.
Should I just roll you another attack?
I was gonna check and see. You just missed it. You just missed it.
I just missed it.
You just missed it.
I don't believe you.
Have you got a bardic inspiration you've been saving?
Don't you have to call bardic inspiration before you use it?
Oh, it's after. Yeah.
Oh, so I could still use it
Uh-huh.
on this current roll that I got.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then I'll do that.
Okay.
It adds 4 to it, so 15 to hit.
There you go. It hits. What's the damage?
That's 10 damage.
Okay. As you are like in your mind, you're absolutely certain that you should let go of this bow as your echo is drawing it, and we see it bring that bow up, and you're like, shoot, and then it waits just one more second longer than you were thinking, and thunk right into this thing from underneath, and it howls with just a really disturbing, like starts in a low guttural up into this like ear piercing screech. And anything else for Analyth, you got another shot in there, don't you?
Yeah, I do. 16 to hit.
16's going to hit. What's the damage?
6.
6 more damage. As you hit it with that second shot, we see Drummer turn around to see it and move out of its way as it comes down hard on the ground where you were standing just a moment ago, and looks up at you with just fury in its eyes. What do you do?
Well, I hope that I learned from the last one. I think the last one everything just went too fast, and actually it was bad that it had so many reactions. So I'm going to cast slow on this one.
Ooh.
Going to tell him that it's once again I make this droning noise, and I try to settle it down. I try to settle everything down. Essentially, like just slow its heartbeat, slow its thinking, slow its breath, and then just give this droning pulse that becomes slower and slower. Yeah, that's a wisdom saving throw.
You got a 3. He got a 3 on his wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, so its speed is halved. It has -2 to AC and Dex saving throws, and it can't use reactions.
Wow.
But on each of its turns, it gets at the end it gets another wisdom saving throw.
Very good.
Yeah.
What else?
Seeing that. Well, I mean, I see when somebody uses my inspiration, because these actions are usually beautiful and inspiring.
Yep.
So as my bonus action, I'm going to applaud Analoth. I said, that was beautiful. You see, you got it. You're going to win this one for us again, and give him another bardic inspiration die.
Magnificent. As you sing this thing's praises, you see this ape. It is even hunched down. It is obviously larger than you are, Drummer, and it makes it shakes its head too from this effect, failing to clear its mind. But it does pick up a big, meaty, just dense arm and try and backhand you with it. And let's just see how he does. Badly. Badly is how it does. It and tries to swing at you, which you're able to dodge with, total ease. And then this thing goes to swing with its left arm as it tries to move towards you, and it does it like. You don't even have to move for that one. It just can't make it to you as its fist hits the ground, and it looks up at you almost questioningly why it's unable to kill you. And then you guys hear a response to its earlier cry, and you hear, and not just one, but several other apes from different directions in this dense forest. Just give you guys a heads up. Enloth, what do you do?
I just have a question.
Sure.
Is my echo providing sneak attack bonus right now?
It could if you moved closer.
Isn't my echo right by it?
Yeah, but you're not.
Okay.
Or let me rephrase that. You said sneak attack bonus. I thought you were saying combat advantage. I apologize. Yes. For you to fire at it, you will get, if you hit, a sneak attack.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I do like firing at things, and the sooner we kill this one, probably for the better if it has friends.
Show me what you got.
22 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
And that's 5 damage.
5 points of damage.
Let's see.
You got some sneak attack down there too, yeah?
Yeah, hold on. That's 2 for the sneak attack.
As this thing staggers towards Drummer, we just see you, and this thing just gets hit in the side and just sort of goes limp on its forearms, right in front of Drummer.
Okay. Is it dead or is it?
It looks dead. It looks dead. Do you want to do a nature check?
Yeah, I'll do a nature check.
Okay.
It's a 10.
You don't know if this thing's dead or alive, but it's on the ground. It seems unconscious, but it could still be alive. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire at it again.
Okay.
I don't trust that.
Okay.
Never mind. That's a nat 1.
Cool. That is fan fucking tastic, as we like to say in the business. And it's even better when you feel yourself punched in the back by a fist that is almost as big as your back. And that nat 20 is gonna wreck shop, is how we like to say things around here. So that's... Mm-hmm. All right. How's 36 damage treat you?
It's a little more than half.
Yeah, you hear your back go crack, and you think this thing just broke your spine. It is very, very painful, and you manage to reel back forward and just hear clicking in your back. It is very disconcerting, and you don't feel any better about it when you look over your shoulder and you see an ape that is nearly 9 feet tall, with thick, plush orangey red fur and a big streak of gray running down the middle of their chest and yellowy eyes. And this thing bares its teeth at you and just roars. And can I get a wisdom check, please? Or saving throw? Saving throw.
9.
You are frightened mechanically. If this thing were to punch you one more time like that, it'd be real bad.
I agree.
So it tries to make its second attack. No. That was just a readied action, excuse me. Yeah, Analoth, you got the shot off on the first guy, and as you're going to draw that second shot, you're wham, just blasted. Anything else for you?
Yeah, I think I want a second wind.
Okay. Not a bad idea. Go ahead and heal up, and Drummer, what do is you see a much larger, much more dangerous ape come onto the scene.
Do I see or get the sense that Analoth is frightened?
Yeah, that whole exchange. You looked up at the last second and heard that crunch in their back, in their rib cage. And you see just wide-eyed horror at that injury. And as this thing roars, you see Analoth's legs buckle a little bit, as if they're reflexively trying to run away.
Well, but and where are the other apes? Or is that just...
Yeah, you don't see any other apes right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you do see the one in front of you start to pixelate and rain down into the forest floor, leaving just arrows behind on the ground.
Now I move over to Analoth. I gently touch him on, well, I guess one of his hind legs, and I cast heroism.
Yeah, you give him the old. And what does heroism do for him?
Well, heroism gives him immunity to being frightened.
Hey.
And he gains temporary hit points. It's 8. It's my spell attack modifier.
8
5.
temporary hit points. Oh, 5.
5 is my spell modifier. Yeah.
Yeah, still not too bad there. Not too shabby.
So that should remove the frightened condition.
Correct.
Bolster them up a little bit, and now that's basically my turn.
Okay. Can I get perception checks from the both of you, please?
It's an 8.
6.
Fantastic. This thing goes to try and take a swing at you, Analoth. And we see you just sort of like backbend again. This time, no creaking, just this dexterous fluid motion that you are more accustomed to. And it takes another shot at you. How many nat 20s have I rolled on you tonight?
This would be the third.
Well, Okay. You're gonna take 30 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing bends you one way, and then as you're trying to come back up, this thing just bam right across your jaw. And again, the size, like, this is your head. This is that guy's fist, and he just and sends you reeling into Drummer. And we see little birdies starting to swirl around your head.
Oh my god. Jeez. Yeah. The world is spinning, and that is somehow better than the punch I just took. Jeez.
It's your turn. What would you like to do?
Oh. How close am I to this ape?
Unnervingly close.
Yeah, I think I'll like to disengage then.
Okay.
And put the maximum distance of 40 feet between us.
Okay. As this thing sort of like boom boom punches its fist into the ground and looks up at you with its lips curled under and its teeth bared in a violent grin. We see you start to back carefully away, and then once you're sort of on the other side of a tree, just like beeline it. Which direction are you going? Beachward, forestward, or along the beach in the trees still?
I'm gonna say the beach.
Okay. 40 feet is going to get you onto the sand. And can I get another perception check now that you're on the sand?
Okay. That's a 9.
You start to hear like apes and primates chattering in the trees. And as you sort of back out, there is just almost a wall of palm and coconut trees waving overhead. And every time you hear a different primate howl or squawk, you don't see where they are. It's coming from almost every direction, and it rises like an ear-piercing chorus.
Okay. I want to shout to Drummer that there is a lot of backup on the way right now. Like a lot. I also want to use Action Surge and shoot at the ape that has been knocking me around silly.
Very good. You will get both. I just give you a full action. You will get both attacks if you use it.
Okay. How does inspiration work again?
If you don't like the result of a D20 roll, you can use your inspiration to re-roll it.
Okay. All right. Ooh, it's 11.
11 against a giant. Do you still have a bardic inspiration?
I'm not sure. Yes.
You gotta keep track of these things, homie.
Yeah.
You do.
Okay.
When you used it, almost immediately, Drummer came behind and granted it again to you.
Okay, yeah, I think that's why I was confused. That's 18 to hit.
That is going to hit.
That's 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. The first damage done to this giant ape. And you got one more shot there, I think.
Okay. 12 to hit.
Hey, great news, bud. 12 hits.
Wow, okay.
It's an ape. It doesn't have armor on it. It's not, that's a giant ape. Also, the bigger things are, the easier they are to hit.
That didn't help me with that massive dragon. That's a 5 damage.
5 more damage. Okay. Very good. You 2 shots into this thing, and it was starting to look at Drummer like they were a snack. And then you see their beady, orangey yellow eyes look through the trees at you, standing illuminated on the beach. Drummer, what do you do? You're about 10 feet away from this thing currently.
Mm-hmm. Well, first thing, I'm going to use Bardic Inspiration die for unsettling words.
Nice.
I'm telling it, do you hear that noise? Do you hear all the other younger apes? They're coming for you. They're coming for your alpha status. Your days are over, my friend. It's you're not a silverback. You're an aluminum foil back.
Magnificent.
I want more space between it and us. So I'm going to cast Thunder Wave at 3rd level
Magnificent.
for the damage as well. Yeah, so that's a con 16 save minus the d8.
Yeah. Its Constitution saving throw would have been an 11.
Oh, okay.
So Thundercats hope.
It's 13 points of thunder damage, and I think he's pushed back 10 feet.
Correct.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use my movement and run after Analoth. So that should give us
Okay.
like 50 feet distance between the ape and us.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Mhm.
Magnificent. As this thunderclap goes off, you see this thing. It picks up its 2 big, just thick forearms and starts to move towards you. And as you boom, this thing just goes end over end back 10 feet and falls prone to the ground. And you see it pick up one big meaty arm and then the other, and then look up at you with this orangey face with little gray streaks in it. And it clambers back to its feet and starts rushing towards you. It gets up to the front of you two and begins to beat its chest and howl with this cacophonous noise. And it is standing up much taller than the two of you as you are on the beach, and it is almost between you and in front of you, just a bit at the edge of the trees. Analoth, this thing is but essentially right beside you. It had to use all of its movement to stand up and then get to you. So it didn't have a chance to attack, but it's right beside you.
Oh, that's what I love to hear. Is it if I move away, is it close enough for a reaction?
Uh-huh.
Lovely. Okay. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, I have to disengage. I have no hit points. This thing will actually use me like a bendy ruler. So I will go. How much more beach is there?
There's about 40 more feet of beach before you are going to be in the water. We're past the to and fro of the waves.
Okay, then I will disengage 25 feet towards the water.
Okay.
And I think I'm pretty sure my my echo has disappeared because I moved too far from it.
So it happens to the best of us.
So I will manifest it again 15 feet in front of me, in between myself and the ape.
Magnificent. As you do that, Drummer, this thing's right beside you.
Well, I'm seeing that that Analoth is still not doing so well. So as a bonus action, I'm going to use. Oh, actually, it's. I have two third levels slots left. I'm going to use another third level slot for Mass Healing Word.
Nice.
And having seen Analoth going at the pastries this morning, the Mass Healing Word I use is breakfast.
Nice.
And it's 1d4 plus 5.
I think it's a bunch of d4s plus 5.
Mhm.
How many d4s is it? It's like a few, right?
No, it's because I only cast it at third level. I don't have a higher level. It's 1d4 plus spellcasting ability modifier. If I would use, well,
Gotta double check that.
mhm.
Seems less than it should be. Yeah, go ahead and roll that up.
I think it's so low because I can use it on up to 6 creatures.
No, it's 3d4. Because you're doing it at third level?
Yeah.
It's 3d4. Plus your
Okay.
spellcasting modifier.
So that's 12 in total.
There you go. 12 points of healing for the two of you.
And yeah, I'm at full hit points. And as my action, I mean, I look at my rapier, and it's. I look at my rapier, and I figure that it's not going to do anything, and it might be the stupidest thing I've done so far. But I'm going to pump myself up. I'm going to beat my chest, and I'm going to give a howling noise that is much louder and much more fearsome than what this creature did using a performance.
Lovely. This is good. This is good. Yeah,
That's a
I
nine.
would go ahead.
It's a 19 on performance.
Yeah. So what I want to do is sort of use intimidation with or performance
Oh,
as intimidation, essentially.
okay.
Which will be it's the same number, but this guy's gonna have to figure his life out real quick. What did you get?
Well, if it's intimidation, it's 2 less, so that would be 17.
No, I'm going to use the performance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to essentially use your performance bonus and
Mm-hmm.
say that's how you do that. And what was the total again?
It's 19.
Uh, this guy rolled a 19 on
Mm.
his wisdom save, but he looks at you like, "Girl, what'd you say?" And as their head sort of cocks to the side with surprise, you hear this cacophonous howling in response coming from the trees. Can I get a perception check, please?
It's a 23.
Yeah. As you start to look up into these trees past this giant ape, you can see that there's all sorts of primates in this forest. There's everything from little spider monkeys to orangutan to bonobos. There's just like every kind of primate you could you could ask to see. There's a menagerie of them here, but all of them seem to be hanging out 15 or more feet up in these trees. And they seem to be responding to these calls, but they don't seem to be interested in getting into the fight. So you notice that they're sort of hunkered down, hooting and hollering, but they don't look like they are jumping down to get in the mix.
I look at the ape, and at the end of my turn, I say, "Well, you hear that? They're screaming for me now." It's like you're old news. They're screaming for me now.
Magnificent. A 20 versus armor class is going to hit, right? Nothing you can do. This thing grabs you by the face. As you like, they're hooting for me now. This thing just like in a flash, just boom, it's got you by the head. You're not going to take any damage from this attack, but you will from this one. That's another nat 20. Um, oh boy, howdy! All right, here we go. Uh, that's gonna be 25 points of damage as this thing grabs you by the face and swings you over its head into the sand. And you're like, that's not so bad. And then it swings you around backwards, and you swear you see your feet and your tail wrap around the tree that you just slammed into back first. And it lets go of you as it throws you into the tree, and we just see you slump down on your side at the edge of where the forest and beach meet. And this thing stands up again and starts beating its chest. It doesn't sound quite as intimidating. You know that what you just did was far more intimidating than what this guy just did. He just got a, and you're like, come on, that's baby food. And then you feel one of your ribs pop back in place. And you're like, oh, that's much better. And Analoth, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Is Drummer KO'd?
That's a good question. How's Drummer doing?
Oh,
Okay. He waves limply.
as long as you have hit points. All right. Jeez. Okay.
Can I get a D20 check from both? Just a straight D20 check from both of you, real quick.
Natural
a 1,
20.
a 1 and a natural 20. Okay. That's magnificent. As we get back to the top of the round, can I get another perception check from the two of you, please?
$10.
7.
Excellent. Neither of you notice anything. Please go right ahead, Analog.
Okay. Let's see. Is this thing still
very
still,
healthy
25.
and very dangerous? Yes, it's both of those things.
Oh, lovely. I would like to make it less healthy, ideally, and shoot it again.
Okay.
Uh, 22 to hit.
22 is going to hit. Yeah, I think that's why its owl didn't go off so well. It starts and then just thunk.
It's 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Sweet.
Okay, I want to use Sharpshooter on my next roll.
Excellent. Very good.
We'll see.
I mean, it's good thinking. Whether it works out or not, that's entirely up to the dice. But I'm commending your thought process.
17 to hit.
Oh, okay. I was like, 7? How do you even roll a 7? 17 is going to hit.
Okay. It's 17 points of damage.
Ooh. Yeah, that second arrow, we see one sort of stick into this thing's abdomen, and the second one, as you're like, no, 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 bam, we see it split through its rib cage, and it's still howling. And we see that first one stick, and it's like, "Arrgh," and looks down. And when that second one hits, it's still growling. And as that arrow pierces, you see a soft pink foam from the broadhead twisting into its body. And you took the wind out of this guy's sails and a bit of his lungs. Anything else for Analoth?
No, that's everything.
Fantastic. Drummer, you're on the ground. You are broken but not beaten.
Yeah, I use the tree to get myself back up. I stumble back onto the beach, and I use actually I use the double whammy of unsettling words followed by a vicious mockery spell.
Okay.
Actually, it's just a tirade of insults that I'm raining down on him, and I was like, you know that I was more impressive than you. You know that little orangutan over there, he likes me more than you. You know that probably half of the Capuchin monkeys in these trees, I'm their hero now. You know all that, and still you continue to fight. Brother, you're fighting against age. You're fighting against your lack of intellect. You're fighting against your missing grace. Don't fight us. You're already lost. And it's a Wisp saving throw minus the D8. Otherwise, he's going to take 2d4 psychic damage and has disadvantage on his next attack.
Go ahead and roll with those 2d4s. As you stand up and start marching towards this guy, just unabated by the damage you just took, and you see it look over as you are just cursing it, and it hobbles on its front legs. And shifts to the side away from you. And as you continue to berate it, it starts like picking up a little bit of speed and starts moving down the beach a little bit. And then you see it sort of lurch forward and catch itself with its fist and grab its head with its other hand. What's that damage?
It's 5 psychic damage.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was bonus action and spell, so that ends my turn.
Okay. This guy looks over to its right, towards the forest, and steps over one big step. And the two of you see this thing grab a boulder about the size of your heads. And he hefts it in his fist. And he turns and looks over his back at Drummer, and then pulls this thing back and throws it at Analoth instead. And Analoth, how's a 23 versus your armor class?
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Hey, bud. This is gonna suck.
Did you roll another nat 20?
No. Do you hear that sweet ASMR?
The dice ASMR.
Yeah. You're going to take 23 points of bludgeoning damage as that rock hits you right in the skull. And we see a gash just boop, open up over your right eye and just start to pour blood down the front of you.
I am somehow still standing.
Magnificent. And doop. And this thing reaches over and grabs another rock and just holds it menacingly. And Analoth, it's your turn.
Okay, I want to wipe the blood out of my eyes because I can't have very good aim if I can't see.
That's what echoes are for.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess my echo hasn't. I mean, my echo should have taken that rock instead. I think it would have been kind of him. I think it's still standing.
Yeah, it's 10 feet, 15 feet in front of you in the middle of the beach. Like in the middle of the beach between the sea and the trees.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have my echo fire at it instead.
Okay. Also, this blood is really coming. You're trying to wipe it out's not going to do it. It's a head wound. You feel like your
It hurts.
skull is cracked in half all the way down.
I mean, at 6 hit points, it probably is. That's 20 to hit.
That's going to hit.
And that's 6 points of damage.
Yeah, 6 more points of damage. Great.
Yeah, and I'll try to use sharpshooter again on
Very
the next
good.
attack. That's not gonna hit. That's it was a 13 before the -5.
I think you've used up all your bardic inspirations too.
Yes.
Okay. As you fire that second shot, we see this thing. The first hit, we see this spectral arrow shoot through the thing, and it winces from that pain and looks down, expecting there to be the shaft of an arrow, and there's nothing there. And then when it looks back up and sees that second ethereal arrow flying through the air, he just puts that boulder in front of it, and we see it hit that boulder, and then just wisps of smoke roll past it. And we see as it pulls that stone back down, it bares its teeth at you, and it looks mad.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have a head wound, so really it should suck it up.
That's fair. Drummer, you see these two exchanges after this thing sort of fled from your volley of violent insults and attacks. What would you like to do?
For all intents and purposes, it's not a humanoid, right? I mean,
What are you trying to do?
Well, you said it has a boulder in its hand, so I was going to cast Crown of Madness and have it attack one of the apes in the trees to see if all the other apes go mad at it and just rush at it and insurrect a rebellion.
What sort of save? What sort of save is that?
A Crown of Madness is a Wisdom save.
Okay.
And
11.
Yeah, I haven't actually, I never finished these insults, and now I'm just, driving it insane with doubts that it might have. It's like you're losing your grip on this horde of apes. They're doing what they want. They're throwing feces at you while you're not looking. If you could use a mirror on your back, it's covered in feces, brother. It's you don't have a chance. Your days are over.
As you say this, you see it start to try and look over its back, still hefting this stone. And as it looks over, you see this spiked iron crown start to form on its head. And a thin ring of fire start to lick up around it, and you see its eyes begin to burn with that same fire. And does it attack randomly?
No, I can point to something within range, so I'm going to say that baboon over there. He's
Okay.
coming for your alpha status.
Okay, that's a 23 to hit the baboon. And I get to do this again. And you guys see a baboon fall out of a tree and hit the ground where the beach meets the forest. and you start to hear screams of both anger and fear coming from the menagerie of primates in the trees here.
Okay. So on the end of its turn, it's getting another wisdom save to end it, but I can, for up to 1 minute, I can forego my action and still control it.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Okay. It does not make the wisdom saving throw at
Hmm.
the end of its turn. And let me check because I just want to make sure I'm doing the
Hmm.
mechanics correctly. Does it immediately act once it fails, or does it act on its turn?
Must, the charmed target must use its action before moving on each of its turn and make a. Oh, I'm sorry. It must make a melee attack against a creature other than
I'm
itself.
okay with the I'm okay with
Okay,
the
that
rocky
you
stuff.
mentally choose. So I can just I do not control its actions, but I choose
Its targets.
its targets. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it killed the baboon. Uh,
Hmm.
and it still gets another attack. So what would you like it to attack now? Analot's right over there.
No, I'm not.
You're right. He's right
Mm,
there.
no,
You
no,
could just
no.
rush to the
No,
beach.
that's all right.
Um,
Come on.
well, you're as good a target as any.
Well, it says here the target can act normally if no other creatures are within its reach.
It's gonna move to whatever it needs to.
Hmm.
You're gonna
Yeah.
put the little laser sight on a thing, and
Hmm.
then it's gonna go try and kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going for another ape in the trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
starts to climb. And it grabs a hold of a branch and pulls itself up. And as it
Hmm.
does, these apes go crazy. Every primate
Hmm.
in the woods goes absolutely batshit. And this thing goes to grab a baboon,
Hmm.
and the baboon like jumps backwards, and you see them just sort of go into this hanging position in the air, and you see them drop down onto a branch about 20 feet back and about 10 feet lower, and sort of swing down and look up at this thing as it shouts down towards that baboon. And Analoth, it's your turn.
No, wait.
Oh, you got
As a
another?
bonus, yeah, as a
Great.
bonus action, I want to give bardic inspiration to Analoth. I was like, I'm kind of king of the jungle here, and well, for all intents and purposes, you can be my crone consort if you want to. Anyway, fire away, friend.
All right, thank you. um, is okay. Yeah, I will. I do like shooting things. It's actually my favorite pastime.
Mm-hmm.
So I will use sharpshooter since I have bardic inspiration this time.
Right.
Let's see. Uh, 17 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
It's 20 points of damage.
Ooh. All right. As the wise man says, that's a lot of damage. What are you gonna do with that second shot?
Let's see. Can I use that twice?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think so, but double
I
check.
think so too. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't have like a limit. It doesn't list any limit on it.
Attacking at long range doesn't impose disadvantage. And before you make an attack, you choose to take a -5 penalty before you make an attack. There you go. Bing bong.
All right. Let's see. Okay, and I will, I will use that bardic inspiration. Let's see. So bad at math.
Too gay for math. Buy my too gay for math shirts, y'all. Just saying.
That's 12 to hit. It took so long.
You, 12 hits.
Okay. That's 21 points of damage.
Ooh, okay. Now we're making some headway. Now we're talking. Fantastic. This thing howls again. In frustration and anger. And you hear that gurgle as it sort of aspirates out the side of its chest. Drummer, it's your turn. What would you like to do? You got a big mad ape on your hands.
Yeah, I'm keeping that crown of madness on him, so I'm using my action for that. And mentally, I feel so sorry for the little monkeys, but um, I'm just looking at something up in the trees that's really small and agile, hoping that it will dodge the attack and
Okay.
guide him to that.
Little spider monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As he looks over, he looks back at you, and then as you sort of psychically are like that guy, he leaps from the branch, and you see the orangutan drop from the one where it was standing, and this thing swings. On this branch and hurls itself up into the air, and you see this little spider monkey's eyes just go huge, and this thing sends it into outer space like Team Rocket blasting off again. Uh, yeah, it's a 22 to hit. It just absolutely wrecks shop, knocking this thing upward. You see it still flying up out of the trees as it pixelates up into nothingness. Then it sort of looks to you like, who do I kill next, boss?
Well, I mean, you said that the trees are
Just chock full of them.
another spider monkey. Yeah, they look.
He looks up to his left and starts scaling this. He jumps to a palm tree and just starts scaling up this thing. And we see this spider monkey just like scrambles upward. As it does, this ape just grabs it and smashes it against the trunk of the tree. And you see just like splatter from this thing, and as it tendrils outward, we see blood and guts and everything just pixelate into nothingness.
I look at Analoth and I say, well, as long as he doesn't realize that I'm doing it, we're good. I can keep this going. Just tell me if you need anything.
It also failed its wisdom saving.
Oh, okay.
Which brings us back to Analoth.
Yeah, drummer, I'm okay as long as it's. I'm if it so much as breathes on me, I will faint. But as long as it's over there, we should be fine. Oh, okay. Jeez. All right. I just want to kill this thing, so I'm just gonna keep shooting at it.
Okay. You gonna go sharpshooter?
Yeah, I'm gonna try my luck with sharpshooter again.
Okay.
14 to hit.
14's gonna hit.
And that is 22 points of damage.
Yeah, I think we see that arrow launched. Are you shooting or is your echo shooting? Just curious.
I'm shooting.
Okay. We see you. We see from your perspective, through your eyes. Your left eye is clear, and your right eye is sort of a cloudy red. And as you look out, we see you sort of blink between the two of them as the where the arrow looks like it's going to go sort of fluctuates. And as you draw back, we just see that like red tinted eye look out at that ape and see this arrow come swirling through palm leaves and past branches of other trees and just like thunk up into this thing's back. And what was the total damage? 23?
22.
22. It again just howls in abject pain. You're starting to make some real headway on this guy. He does not look great.
Yeah, I'll do another sharpshooter arrow.
Okay.
I'll send it from my echo this time.
Great. Let's see it.
That definitely hits. That was a 28 before the -5, so
nice.
23 to hit.
Yeah, I think we see both of those arrows sort of loose at the same time, with the same endpoint but different trajectories. And as they almost cross one another, we see that your arrow sticks in this thing, and the other one travels up its back and almost into its brain. As we see a little puff of smoke come wisping out of its head. What was the damage from that one?
21.
Nice. And this thing grabs a hold of a palm leaf and just grasping at anything to hold on to and pulls it down. It breaks away and it starts to slide down this tree and it's taking like everything it's got to hang on. Anything else for Analoth?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Drummer, what you got?
Sorry. So just in case anything goes wrong, I'm going to use my last third level slot, and as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Mass Healing Word again.
Okay.
And it's too early in the morning. I don't know what the next
3d4 plus 5.
Yeah, it's 3d4 plus 5, but I'm trying to think of a clever healing word. I'm just going for breakfast again because that's what I didn't have yet. It's 12. No, it's 13 this time. 13 hit
Excellent.
points.
For each of you.
Yeah, for each of you. So I'm this time I'm getting them as well.
Magnificent.
And then, as my action, I keep that crown of madness on its head, and just guide it to the next monkey, and then just think about. I only think about the pixelation, so it's like
it's they're just pixels.
Yeah.
Sweet. This thing leans away from the tree. Its feet grabbing a hold more steadily now, and its arm hooked around the far side, and you can see this palm starts to even lean like upward as this thing looks out for another victim. And as it does, it pushes off of this tree and leaps towards a chimpanzee that's trying to like cower behind some branches. And we just see this thing flying through the air. And as it comes down, it brings both fists down and just knocks the limb and this monkey into oblivion. It was the 24 to hit. And as it gets to the ground, it looks over and sees the orangutan that it was chasing earlier, and it and then just like comes right up beneath this guy and hits him right in the back, and does not an inconsiderate amount of damage. And knocks him tumbling about 10 feet away. And that orangutan clambers to its feet and just starts fucking running. And then something very interesting happens. You two see a green coconut drop from one of the trees at an unnatural angle. And as it does, this thing turns around and catches it almost reflexively, like he could hear it coming, and he hurls it back up into the tree. And you see another spider monkey just as the coconut cracks and falls to the ground, and we see the white husk exposed around that coconut. And this thing gets up and beats its chest again, and then all hell breaks loose. As he rears up to go, you see another coconut, bam, against his face, and he starts to clamber up a tree, and he grabs a spider monkey by the tail and starts pulling it down. And as he does, bam, another hit from behind. And he lets go of the spider monkey, which clambers back up the tree. And then it is just coconuts for everybody. As you see flump after flump after flump, all of these different primates turn on this thing, and after you see that crown start to dissipate and the fire go out, there are still coconuts raining down. And as you watch this small mountain of green coconuts crash and break into one another, you can smell that sweet aroma start to fill the air. And as it does, you hear the waves behind you start to crash in a more crackly tone, and the sand underneath you starts to dissipate, and you hear, and again you see, good job, across the sky, with this like sparkly, glittery outline to the letters, and fireworks pop up in different colors. And as they rain down, we see these trees start to dissipate, and you start to see a bright blue sky, and with just the thinnest wisps of clouds. But you also see this tremendous metal spherical cage. And the two of you are standing about 10 feet apart in the base of this thing in a circle that's about 120 feet wide. And we see the different sort of like projections that these individual crisscross beams have been creating starts to fade, and you hear, and as you turn around, you see Sionel Silverwhip. She is walking in from the now open gate to this practice dome, and Bios unplugs something from her neck, like a little aux cable, and sets it down, and it reflexively retracts into a little box at that gate. And she starts moving up behind Sionel. And she says, well, we were off to a rocky start, but you really came in at the end and had some creative solutions for this. Expect some bonus points for that. How are the two of you feeling?
Well, you know what I find interesting, as they always say that any sufficiently advanced magic is practically indistinguishable from technology. This thing is a real marvel. I mean, it's. I still don't know how it works. Would it have killed us? I mean, would we be dead if we had died in there in this?
Bios looks up and says, "Oh no, no, you aren't gonna die. There's sort of a method of delivering psychic damage
Hmm.
that makes you feel like you've actually been hurt. And I mean, I guess to some degree you could go unconscious, but nothing here can do lethal damage to you."
Well, since it's just the four, five, six of us, I was afraid for my life a couple of times in there. But then nothing that we couldn't handle. I mean, Analoth was brilliant, and yes, I got a few ideas there, as you said. And he's very, very, very pleased with himself. You can tell.
Yeah,
Mhm.
as you start to talk about that, Cyanel walks over towards Analoth, but Bios stays by you, Drummer, and says, "You know, the system's actually far easier than people expect it to be. All I have to do is manage," and she counts for just a second, 16 different perspectives of major image.
Um, when you have a day off or two, could I borrow you for a performance?
Sure, we make great performances here.
Hmm.
And she says, "Here, I can show you some of my subroutines." And she walks back over and plugs her back into her neck. And as she does, you see two of these. It's like a bunch of triangles, very Epcot center. If you took all the silver off,
Hmm.
and you see three little like emitters overlap and create this holographic list of different environments. And as you sort of like breach through it, nothing happens. But as you gently start to interact with it, you can see you can sort of scroll through this list. And let me know if you think of anything fun. Cyanel strides over to Analoth and smirks and says, "Nice shooting, Tex."
uh, Thanks. Uh, Drummer was a big help with his bardic inspiration.
Uh,
We make a solid team.
she smiles and says, "Yeah, we're big fans of teamwork around here." And grins, and then she says, "But the two of you are little too squishy for my taste." And she smiles and reaches up and pats you on the shoulder. Let's see what we can do about that. And she begins to walk alongside you towards Drummer and Bios. And as Bios is plugged in, her little 2'8" metal oiled bronze frame, you can see that the light in her eyes is sort of gone down to two little pinpricks. And Drummer, did you see any environments that excited
Oh,
you?
I'm explaining to her, and then and every time I hit this big drum, I want like these all these flames come up in front of it, like as if there were like 10 little dragons with the flames, and then I want this cone of light directly on to me, and then I go hi hat, and then this cone changes color, and then I see the others come up.
As you're making these descriptions,
Hmm.
it is happening in real time. You see that there's it's sort of translucent. It's not as dense, not as tangible as what you just experienced. But we see a dozen different flame jets all go up in a circle around the base of this. Almost, as I hit the bam, and we can see the sky darkened. and a clear beam, spotlight illumination on Drummer. And she's just like processing all of this as quickly as you can say it.
Man, that would be a performance. Oh, there you are. I'm sorry, I was just lost in an imaginary performance that I hopefully will have one day in the future.
As you say that, Bios reaches back up and unplugs, and that darkness just drops almost immediately, and the flames sputter out, and even the little pyrotechnic jets diminish into nothingness again. And Bios looks up and says, "Yeah, morale is very important, especially when you're sort of cooped up, even in a big space like this."
I'm looking expectantly at as the two as they're approaching.
Yeah.
I was promised that we would be less squishy. If you want to come with us and we're gonna try and figure something out, you could probably especially use that make me nervous.
Less squishy. I guess she's going to have we do like push-ups or pump irons or.
I was hoping it was something more like armor, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
She reaches over to Drummer, and sort of gets up under your chin. It's just meh. She's got those beautiful long nails, and as she's sort of scratching under your chin, she goes, "Don't worry, you'll do calisthenics too." But Analoth's right. Let's see if we can't offer you a bit more protection. And she looks to the side thoughtfully and says, "Oh, um, that's right. Report cards." And she begins to skip in her platform heels from this cage down the long corridor that is now very visible of the top deck of the airbase for the Mercenary Guild. And as she skips away, Bios looks up at the two of you and says, "I think you guys did all right." And then looks down a little forlorn. But we're here to help. And she begins to skip, clanging a little bit behind Cyanel Silverwhip.
I'm turning over to Analoth as at first I was under the impression that we were brought here to help them, and now it seems that they are constantly giving us the feeling that they're helping us. Something has shifted. I don't like it.
I think it's more so that we could better help serve them if we were a little less mediocre, is the vibe I'm getting.
I mean, I can lie my way out of any situation, and then they didn't even ask for that.
I would like to see what lie you could have conjured for that dragon that one shot us.
That was not medium. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
I just want to like ruffle Drummer's hair as I walk past him after the other two.
Excellent. As we see the world turning underneath this airship, suspended high up above most of the cloud cover, we follow you in and down the spiral staircase to the main level. And as you come down into that level, you see Bios and Cyanel, and they're standing in the hallway. And Bio sort of salutes and turns and walks into the mess hall. And Cyanel gestures gently her invitation to you and follows suit, walking into the mess hall.
Okay, yeah, I want to I want to just like gently trot after.
Okay. Very good. As you round the corner, can I get a dexterity saving throw, please?
That's an 8.
Fantastic.
It's a 16.
Not bad. Um, as you turn the corner, Analoth, you are hit by a spray of water. And we see right behind you, Drummer go like diving and tumbling out of the way, only barely wet by this explosion. And Cyanel is just like knees slapping, laughing, and Bios is holding what looks like a chain gun, machine gun, with a backpack full of water in a glass container held in place with bronze strapping. And she said, "No, you got to be faster than that." And then she cocks it again and says, "Nah, it's fine. Come on, get in here." And she doffs this backpack and sets it up on the table. And she says, "All right, let's get to it." And Cyanel walks to the other side of the table and sits down and pulls out a clipboard. And she says, "Just remember that this is just an assessment. We are not here to pass judgment. We are here to find your strengths and weaknesses and to do whatever we can to ensure your success moving forward."
I am not remotely paying attention as I am trying to dry my fur while sitting.
Okay. Roll me a tongue check, I guess.
A tongue check? Okay.
How are you drying your fur? How are you doing that?
I was just like patting myself to squeegee the water out of my fur.
Roll me a
And
sleight of hand check.
I assist him with with prestidigitation.
That's a 26.
All right.
Oh,
This isn't the first time you've been wet. Yeah, we see you just like florp. And I think, Drummer, it's less about getting Analoth dry and more keeping a huge puddle from building up inside the room. And as you start to cast Prestidigitation, you see Bios, who's thumbing through some of these assessment reports. She just sort of mindlessly reaches down and starts casting prestidigitation too, and starts cleaning up this puddle very quickly. And as the two of you knock out the water problem in the room, Cyanel, please, shall we?
Yeah, I'll just look up, and it's clear that I want to say something extremely snarky, but I clearly think better of it, and then just kind of like fold my arms and sit there attentively.
Okay. German, you're hunkering down. Okay. Cyanel flips through a couple of pages and then sets a clipboard down and then grabs up another clipboard and flips through those pages. And she says, "Okay, does anyone want to go first?"
I beam up because I'm expecting straight A's here.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, you can tell me how good I was.
Excellent. She says, certainly, absolutely. And she starts to go down a list of different attributes, which are a little different than what you're expecting to be judged on. And she says, ingenuity. Very nice. Impressive. Teamwork. Pass as well. Very good. And she says, sensory awareness. And she sort of hisses, we're going to have to work on that. It's very important to be constantly aware of your surroundings. You don't want to be caught off guard. And she goes down and lists a few other things. She says, Grace, very nice, and specifically points out the little insectoid pit, and says, "You handled those very nicely. I was impressed. I'd love to see more movement like that. The fluidity, even with irregular movements." Seemed to serve you very well, and you should remember that when you are dealing with creatures that have tremor sense, but also simply moving through the world in a way that maybe couldn't be tracked. And she flips through another page here and says, I would like to see a few more things from you that I didn't really see utilized. Your cat like acrobatic nature should be a huge boon for you, and yet it seems to fall by the wayside in combat situations. So don't forget to stand on your strengths. Sometimes working hard to impress is valuable, but most of the time we should focus on what we're good at. And she scrolls through. She says, yes, your intimidating nature, although it was insufficient in the simulation, your ability to potentially affect the mind of a combatant would definitely benefit from those sorts of performances, which would, let's say, put them back on their heels. And she lists a few more things. And the two things that sort of are at the bottom of the list, she says there's two things I really would like to work on. While you have a fantastic acrobatic prowess, we really should do something to imbue you with strength. So perhaps we can spend some time, maybe, I don't know, working out together, or finding some magical means by which to grant you that strength that you seem to be lacking. Similarly, your defenses are paltry at best, far below what we would hope for from our agents. But that being said, and she sort of gestures to you, you're clearly not wearing much by way of armor, so perhaps we can find something that will work to aid you in that protection. And she flips through the last pages and says, that's just about it for drummer's assessment. Analoth?
Yep, I'm ready.
Um, I must commend you on your work in the pin. You did so nicely with Scoop. And she sort of beams a little bit. She says, he is not an easy one to befriend, but you managed it very nicely. And again, the teamwork aspect of that was very impressive. She says, I was also very moved by the use of your echo, a rare trait, and wise application of being able to conjure that to distract these creatures from your own stealthy movements. Very nicely done. And she also gives you one more compliment. She says, when we sprung our first test on you, you really didn't get a fair shake, but you did do a good job of dodging our attacks, at least at first. And a strategic mind will continue to serve you well. And then she sort of grimaces a little bit. Unfortunately, there are just as many shortfalls. And again, these are things that we hope to overcome together. And she says, you similarly lack the physical aptitude that we would hope for. Perhaps both of you could get on a calisthenics program or a weightlifting program. We have plenty of equipment for you to use to build up a little strength. And she flexes, and through the leather cat suit that she's wearing, you can see clearly defined the two chunks of her bicep muscle. And she winks at you, and she says, similarly, we would like to aid in ensuring that you are harder to attack. And she looks back down at her paper and flips through. She says, also, it seems that there's very little diversity in the methods of attacks that you use in combat. And uh, I would hope that we can diversify your choices when you find yourself in a fight.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like fairly solid feedback.
Um, one last thing. You did good with the stealth with the bugs. A little bit more, maybe, perhaps. You're so spry. It seems a waste. The two of you could attack at range from cover with ease, and it seems like the two of you collectively get caught up with what's in front of you and not the opportunities that you could necessarily seize upon for creative solutions.
Yeah, I just wanna look at Dropper and give him a little shrug, like, she's got a point, I guess.
But I must say, we threw you in the lion's den, so to say, and she chuckles at her own play on words. But how you managed to turn a bunch of primates against your primary adversary was a truly inspired method, and your sharpshooting abilities came in quite handy to ensure that that beast no longer injured you. So kudos to the two of you. Um, Perhaps we'll run some more simulations in the future and hone those fighting techniques. And she smiles to the point that there's a literal glint in her eye. Well, anything you'd like to say?
Well, that was constructive criticism, and I will work on everything that you've said, and I go for it's a 24 for deception. So she doesn't, and I try to come across as graceful and a little bit of humble.
It was
But
24.
it's a 24.
Okay.
I'm blatantly lying here, but what can you do?
Roll me an insight check, please.
It's a 16.
You see Sional just nod towards you. Analoth, any parting words?
No, I think you. I mean, the feedback you gave, I feel like makes sense looking back at our trials. It's yeah. I mean, I'm just vaguely used to drummer lying, so I'm just going to completely tune out anything he has said.
Sure.
It's just like, yeah, we will work on it, and improve.
Bios hops up and goes, "Oh, that's right. I have a little something for you." And she hops over the table and jumps down on the bench the two of you are seated on. And scampers across the hall with the soft clanging that she's known for. And then you hear just the most fucking ridiculous series of drawers opening and closing and clattering metal and wood. It sounds like someone took a full craftsman toolbox, the biggest one they make, and turned it sideways and shook all the tools onto the ground. And then she comes back with a small, it looks like copper disc with a thin, almost needle in the middle of it. And it has three little attachment points to a leather strap, which has a band, like a belt, on it, with a little. There's a little like a belt loop with a little eyelet, and then beside that has a little tension screw, and you recognize this very similar aesthetic to like a drum head, except it's like a resonator. And she says, you should be able to adjust this to any of your drums and use it to increase the efficacy of your bardic spells. And your bard spells are going to double in distance, and you're going to get +1 to any damage done, and +1 is essentially like you just went from 20 to 22. It's not going to be for your abilities and stuff like that, but essentially all of your bardic magic, you're going to add 1 to the saving throw, or to the damage, or to the healing, or to the bardic inspiration. So it'll be 1d8 +1. And she says, try it out, try it out.
Yeah, I take it and well, I have to about a non damaging spell here. I'm casting, well, I mean, dancing lights, anything like that, but that's already got so much distance anyway. Well, but I'm just casting
Okay.
dancing lights. I'm just casting
Sure.
dancing light. Yeah.
As you start to cast dancing lights, they
Mhm.
look almost immediately larger. And as you sort of beat that drum to conjure that magic, you hear this that needle in the middle seems to vibrate in that copper disc. Like there's another layer of metal between it. It sounds kind of like a snare on a drum.
Mm-hmm.
And so you hear this ring, ring, that just sort of rises as you stop drumming, and offers this snare-like resonance
Mm-hmm.
under each hand beat. It's pretty
That's
fascinating.
brilliant. Thank you.
She's, oh, I've got something for you too. And she turns and runs back, and again you hear this horrible fucking clattering coming from her workshop. And she comes back, and she's holding a quiver, and it seems to be made of a similar material to her. In fact, this bronze material that looks like it's oiled, and uh, there's a leather ring at the top and bottom of this quiver, and a leather strap. And as you look at the arrows in this quiver, you see little wisps of silver coming off of these obviously enchanted fletching. And she says, "Now, be careful with these." And she starts to slip one out as she hands you the quiver. And as she pulls this thing out, the shaft of this arrow again has that same oiled bronze look to it, that sort of uneven patina. But the arrowhead here is a three-sided dart that is like silvery white, and it has this like almost pearlescent, luminous quality to it. And As you look down the length of this darker arrow shaft, you see that the fletching, the little feathers at the end of that shaft, are silvery, as if they've been hammered by like a very, very fine press or something like that. It looks like you could see each individual bit of the feather, and they are wisping this silvery mist off of them. And she says, "So I've only been able to make 6 of these, but these are really neat. They contain the spell Magic Missile, and if you find yourself in a situation where you roll to hit and miss, you can instead hit with a 1d4 plus 1, and one of these guys will essentially jump out and at least do a little bit of damage for you."
Oh wow. Thank you so much. I wanna if she's offering it, I wanna take the arrow from her hand so I can
Yeah,
examine it more closely.
sure. Yeah, as you look over it, it seems to be a very simple design. And Roll me an Arcana check.
17.
As you look at it, the tip of this thing, the arrowhead, as it were, is much larger than most of your arrows are. Uh, to the point that as you look over it, it looks like somebody cast Magic Missile, and then someone just grabbed one of those silvery darts and encased it in glass. Uh, Glass that sort of bows inward from the 3 different sides, with a razor sharp edge to it.
Yeah, I just keep turning it over and over in my hand, just in complete awe.
It's pretty
And then
beautiful.
of course I have to hand it to Drummer so he can appreciate the craftsmanship as well.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, its existence in this space is a work of art, really. And she says, "Oh, you can only get it. There's only 6 per day. Eventually, this thing will refresh those arrows for you, but try not to get too carried away. We're hopeful for more success than failure."
Oh wow, that's even cooler. Thank you.
So yeah, essentially you're gonna have 6 single magic missiles, and you'll be able to use up to 3 at a time, as if you were casting magic missile in place of a missed shot.
Okay.
Cool,
Yeah, that's very cool. Thanks.
great. Bio says, "I'm glad you like it," clapping with her clanking metal hands. And she says, "I gotta go put the workshop back together, but I'll see you two round the air base. Okay, bye." And she turns the corner, and it sounds like someone putting 2,000 tools back in a craftsman toolbox all at the same time. It's a very disturbing racket. And Cyanel looks at the two of you and says, I will be crafting some items for you as well, as long as you maintain a positive relationship with the Mercenary Guild. We will continue to provide you with equipment as you need it. We find that a small stipend and the equipment you need to be the best sort of support we can provide you. Everything else that you need, as you can see, is provided to you. But please, if you have questions, comments, or secret ambitions, just let me know, and I'll do everything I can to provide you what you need to accomplish your missions.
Yeah, I would. I mean, Drummer, is this everything sound cool with you? Positive standing? Want to stay in the guild?
I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
mhm.
I feel pretty good.
Excellent. She stands up and grabs those 2 clipboards and tucks them under her arm. And she says, "Well, the rest of the day is yours." And she bows respectfully to the two of you and stands up and strides out of the room. And you hear her heels clicking down the hall as she begins to descend the stairs, leaving the two of you in the mess hall. What do the two of you do?
Well, as soon as she's out of the door, I'm using my actor feed and I imitate her voice perfectly, and I go, "Oh,
Well, we'll see about that in a second.
I'm Cyanil, and when I'm met with greatness, I have to put them down and belittle them and criticize every little action that they do. And I'm basically a stupid meathead working out all day, and I'm making artists work out as well. And then I sit down and go like, ah, Anna, sorry, I just needed to get that out of the system. Oh,
As you say
so
that,
mhm,
first roll me a performance check.
mhm. It's a 17.
Okay. Not bad. Very, very convincing
Mhm.
impersonation. Analoth, I think probably somewhat to your delight. Um, but as you finish this impersonation, you hear and the sound of liquid being poured into a cup. and as the two of you turn around, you see Chester. He is standing up on a 3-step stool, and he has grabbed a carafe of coffee and is pouring himself a nice full mug. And delighting in your impersonation. Bios didn't hear you, but the nat 20 he rolled for perception was pretty good.
Yeah, maybe I should work on my perception. I mean, maybe it's true. Maybe I I was just in good nature, just a good-natured little roast.
He smirks and shakes
Mhm.
his head, and he says, "I always heard that impersonation is the highest form of flattery. Can't wait till I make the list." And he trots down the stairs using his cane to ease his transition. And he says, "The two of you will make a great addition yet." And he takes another big slurp of coffee, and he slings his cane around as he takes a couple of hobbled steps, and then plants it as he begins to even out his stride, and wanders back. Or actually, he goes to the left where Sinal did, and you hear his cane echoing against the steps going down the stairs.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give a sideways look to Drummer, and I'm just like making a grimace, like ooh. Good job, bud. Is this the room with the scones though?
It was the room with the scones.
That is the saddest was I've ever heard.
I mean, yeah. Do you want to roll me an investigation check?
Sure. It's a 3.
As you begin to go through the cabinets, you're caught off guard. And you open up some cabinets to the left of this big, huge stove and ventilation hood, and there's nothing in them. And you open the cabinets overhead, expecting, oh, well, maybe that's where the pans and the pots are, and I'll look up here. And the cupboards are bare. And as you continue down the line, it looks like every morsel of food has been extracted from this kitchen. And as you go to the ice chest and open it, you see this glowing blue chunk of ice and little tendrils and wisps of condensation rolling off of it. And as you look down into the icebox itself, it is absolutely empty, except for a small mouse in the middle of the refrigerator on the top level, and he is putting the last of a piece of cheese in his mouth. And as you open the door, he sort of stops.
Can I catch the mouse?
Roll me a sleight of hand, please.
It's a 15.
It's not a 30 because a 30 is what you needed. As you plunge your hand,
Jeez.
and I rolled for it. As you plunge your hand into the refrigerator, you're like and you open your hand, and there's a little waxy piece of paper and a small piece of cheese, and all you see from the refrigerator on the far side is a blue, like small distortion, and this thing seems to have just run through the back of the door or the back of the icebox.
Can I put my hand in the distortion?
It's not there anymore, but as you reach for the back of the refrigerator, it is solid.
I'm just gonna look to Drummer in complete exasperation. This mouse vanished.
Mouse?
There's no
Mouse?
food here. It just vanished. Yeah,
Mouse?
there was a mouse in the box, and it's gone. It just went into.
Can I get an
Fuck if I
insight
know.
check, Drummer?
Mm-hmm. That's a 24.
As unrealistic as it sounds, Analoth is expressing themselves in a way that seems like this is what they just experienced. You look in the icebox, there's no fucking mouse in there. Analoth's holding a piece of cheese, and as you look at it, you can see the very clear rodential sort of like teeth marks on it. And sure enough, you're like, what the heck?
I'm gonna sit in the front of the icebox for a couple of minutes, just looking, waiting for the mouse to come out.
Okay. As you do, it does not. But Bios comes back into the room, and she goes up, walks up the 3 steps. There's just a little step stool in front of the counter, and she hops up, boop, boop, boop. True. Reaches out, actually pours herself a cup of coffee, which she all but dislodges her whole damn head, and then dumps the coffee into her system, I guess. And you hear a bubbling, gurgling noise as it seems to be processed, and then you see her head just thunk back in place, and she looks inside the cup, and you see her spray it out with a water nozzle in her index finger. And then she switches to her pinky and blows it dry, and sets it on a drying rack next to the sink. And then she looks over and sees the two of you staring in the icebox and goes, yeah, you two okay?
There was a mouse in the icebox.
There's a mouse.
She goes, oh, not again. Okay.
It disappeared. Do you know where it went?
Technically, no. We don't know where it went.
What does that mean?
She sighs heavily, and she says, well, we've been having an issue with, well, we call them phase mice. And they just seem to, like, phase in and take a lot of food, and then just, like, phase right out. Like, they're impossible to catch, impossible to trap, and we don't even know how they got onto the ship.
Bios, what food are they taking?
Bios looks out. Well, when they come, all of it.
So, is that why there's absolutely nothing here right now? You like all the mice just came in and stole all of our food.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. They're very efficient little critters.
I want to catch one so bad.
Hey, listen, good luck, pal. I'm all about it. If you manage to catch one of those suckers, I would love to see it. But listen, don't drive yourself crazy trying to do it.
I'm looking in the icebox again.
Okay. As the two of you peer into the granite blue depth of this icebox, nothing presents itself. And Analoth, as your tummy begins to grumble, Bios pokes their head back around the door and says, you know, there's always fruits and vegetables on the top deck. and we see her turn and jauntily head back to her workshop, leaving the two of you peering into an icebox. Tendrils of cool air wisping past a layer of magically imbued ice.
Yeah, the icebox consumes my attention for at least another 20 minutes.
Okay. As the two of you sit and ponder, we get to see past that threshold, and as we do, we look past that slate blue gray granity textured structure of this icebox, and focus on a single reflective fleck in the back of it. And as it flashes for us, we see an expansive warehouse, and we see rodents. Some of them wearing clothing, others moving about on all fours. And we see some of them checking over clipboards, and others of them wearing glasses and looking over the work that's being done. And we see this staggering collection of boxes of foods and jars of cereal and tomatoes canned, and all of these just huge collections of beautiful food. And we look deeper into this, and as we look out, we see that beyond this warehouse is just the darkness of space. And that is where I'll leave you tonight.
The space rats.
Yeah.
Scoop is such a cute name for the bug, too.
Yeah, I was very pleased with that.
That was fun.
Lovely. So kudos and congratulations to the two of you for not dying more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got one shot. That was so unlucky.
It's bad. Hey guys, do you know what the average damage is for a young blue dragon's breath weapon?
No.
55 points of damage.
Oh, okay.
I got much higher than that.
Good.
Yeah.
I
so,
only had
good job.
49 hit points at the time.
Yeah. It's a hard knock life.
Did we get a long rest?
You will before we do anything else. So yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I must bid you adieu and au revoir, and remind you, as always, to be good, to take care of yourselves, and if you can't be good, don't get caught. Good night, everybody.
All right. Take
Bye,
care.
y'all.
Good night.
Doodles.